And welcome back, everyone. Today we are back in, well, my park. Yes. Isn't it lovely? Just look. Oh my goodness. Oh, here comes the train. Now, today we're actually going to be doing something very different. I'm not recording this live. In fact, me talking right now is recorded way past whenever this was recorded. I actually know the future. I won't tell you, but I know the future. In a few minutes, I'm actually going to hit the fast forward button and we're going to watch this park get built and slowly catch up to where we are. While that's happening, I'll give you a brief rundown of what's been going on inside the game, as well as some inside looks into what I'm planning, what I'm thinking about doing. We're going to have maybe an episode or two like this, so get ready, it's going to be a fun ride. Alright, and let's get started. And we're off to the races. Alright. Now comes the fun part. I actually had to try and learn what I was going to be doing for the today. I thought maybe doing some buildings, looked around a bit, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to build the stations for these trains. I have these railroads around here. I want to try and get them themed up, looking nice and pretty. So I went ahead and started building out a little platform, trying to figure out how to make the main station kind of look nice, but not look too weird, not look too station-like. I have this kind of idea of like a normal American train station in my mind when I'm ever trying to think of building a train station, and I kind of figured it'd be a good idea to try some things out. The different wood types in the game were kind of nice, but at the same time were kind of weird. So I kind of gave up and I kind of decided to start building on the platform itself. Decided if we're going to do a platform, it should look like an actual like old time station platform instead of like a modern one. So I went to business building up my own platform. Yeah, it wasn't exactly easy. Had to kind of learn how to rotate and bring things around, and had to do some trial and failure to figure out what would work and what wouldn't work. For example, in a few seconds here, you're going to see me try and flip one around, and it didn't line up, and I did not like how it looked. Like, see, that seam there? Nope, don't like that. So I decided to just forget that. I just moved it back over, and I just kept on going. See? One, two, no, it's towards me. Past me, terrible. There we go. I just decided to continue the station like that and finish it off. You know how it is. And, oh god, experiments with trying to learn that grabbing tool didn't go well. You know, it never does it? Oh my. Ooh, and because I was kind of building off of a grid there, I kind of wanted to actually figure out what a grid for the station itself would be, figure out how big it would be. So I ended up putting down this little block here, which would end up becoming our base for the station. How big it's going to be, how long it's going to be, kind of figuring out all the basic information that I needed to know, as well as covering up that last bit of ugliness right there. Yes, that little bit of blue. Ugh, not my favorite. So many things. There are so many items in this game. Oh my god. Like, seriously, you could build forever with it if you knew how to just apply everything correctly. Uh, just trying to line up everything right. I don't know why I did that. I should have just. I should have said it. I think I did end up actually setting it to a building and that made a grid, but I'm not sure if that worked or not. I really don't remember. I haven't tried touching it since. Might be something I should do in the future. And here we are finishing off the station platform. I think it looks pretty nice, personally. Especially with the way it covers up the bottom there. I didn't like how the bottom stuck out. It just bothered me. And there we go. I don't remember what I did for... Did I really do it all the way down? Oh, past me, you really are something else. Ah, right, I rearranged the area there. That's right. Well, we'll see soon enough. But... Ooh, ow. There we go, I did it on a grid, that's right. I didn't like how that was coming out, so I kind of had to figure out paths at the moment. So that means I had to redo my path. Yeah, That path that I spent all that time building in a past episode, yeah, had to redo it. I don't like having stairs in my theme parks, especially for main pathways. I feel that most theme parks would not have that for accessibility. So I tried my best to create a small, smooth, uh, accessibility-friendly walkway. Also experimented a bit with a different type of railings. That was kind of nice to see. Ah, yeah. Everyone came in and everyone left. I didn't have any rides, so nobody wanted to stay around. Sorry, guys. Oops. Back to working on a grid, trying to get our station nice and built up, so they would have something to work with, so I could put the walls on. Ugh, that terrible yellow-edged wood just made me cringe. I do believe I ended up accidentally going with concrete here. Not what I was meaning to do, but looked nice at the time. I actually thought it was something else, so when I found out it isn't, oh, it didn't take me too long to destroy it all and build it up again. Yeah. See, it looks nice, has a nice edge and everything, but not what I wanted. Not at all what I wanted. Oh, I tried to put on a base there, and I just found out the only way I could do it was by going outside, and it makes weird edges when you go to the block outside. So I didn't end up doing it. Ugh. Ah, yes. This is something you'll see becomes quite a habit. The terrain tools actually in this game are very advanced and very versatile. So I actually started building hills for an area I'd been thinking of ideas for ever since I built the train. So it's very curious, and I'm very excited to show off what finally happened. But for first, we're going to test out the train models, which I'm not happy with. I'm not, because the trains compared to real people in the game are giant. The miniature train that they ride on is more correct to standard gauge than that massive thing compared to their size. It makes me so frustrated because it looks so freaking big, and I know that's not right. So I just went with it and I kept building anyway. So what you see here is me slowly getting the track right, because what I'm trying to do is I'm actually about to build out a bit of a, a a coal mine almost. I had this idea of this area over here being like a coal mine, with a coal tipple and everything, for like a roller coaster of some sort, kind of like being the base scenery for that. It's uh, it's an attempt. I'm not sure if I'm entirely happy with how it came out. I do like that I have these tie things that I can just place down. There's also rails which I can place around anywhere I want. Oh, by the way, sometimes trying to get an angle right in this thing takes forever. I swear. There we are. Ta-da! And now we're making a switch. And we can get our nice and perfect rail yard fit up for the coal temple so that we can have everything looking pretty and nice. The way I tried to figure out how far things were supposed to be was this locomotive here. I actually placed down this one and another one so that I can get a good idea for how wide it should be. So I wanted to kind of give a realistic idea for, in case there are two trains here, would they be able to fit? A lot of my theme park planning and ideas for video games all depends on, could this happen in real life? Could it? Yes? Okay, good, that looks right. Does it not? No? No thank you then. It's one of my big issues with some other uh, Planet Coaster series I've seen, is some of them just disregard reality, and it's kind of frustrating at times. Because I'm like, that would never work. You know how it is. I just, it's me laying down the barest minimum of gravel to kind of give an indication that this used to be train track here. Giant, big, the giant little gap, not gaps, the giant spots of gravel over there were actually used to indicate where I'm going to have the cold tipple for where it's supposed to be the cold went into the train car. So, fingers crossed that worked out. I'm not entirely sure. It's been a long time since this episode was recorded, so it's already in the game, but at the same time, still not sure if I like it. Still not sure. Ah, there we go. Starting the building finally. I've kind of had an idea of what coal temples should look like after I saw some from various more. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? They're the ones that are more like in the middle of nowhere. I've seen some pictures of them and I've seen some images of them in train simulators, and I kind of like what they look like. So I kind of go for their look here. This is more kind of a in the middle of nowhere coal mine, so I thought it fit a bit. Um, oh my, the little building behind it. I tried to see if you could actually like flip this upside down. You can't. It's very sad. I actually really wish you could take the triangle pieces and the edge pieces and flip them upside down because I think they'd fit really well in some places for like horizontal buildings and things like that. But then again, the game wasn't built for everything. They mostly got it, but some things they still could do some work on. Me trying to figure out the roof. Not even the roof, I think. I think this was trying to figure out the ceiling. That was the hardest part. There we go. It's not too bad. I kind of like the ceiling here. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I think it kind of fits the wood feel of this area and the kind of out of time look of it. So I think most of them would be made out of metal now. I'm not sure, I think, but it would make sense that sometimes they would be made of wood. Oh, when I realized very quickly that I actually had moved it too far. So I actually had enough room for adding a third track if I wanted. So, I went ahead and did it. There's the rails I spoke about earlier. Yeah, you can just have your own rails if you want, and you could literally make your own track or whatever it is you want. They're kind of handy and very useful. Very good for making your own like situation like this, where it's kind of like the track has been taken up, but not fully taken up. Oh yeah. See, this is what I was meaning when I said those other things. You can make like a track pile, like I'm doing here. Like I'm just taking the other bits and I'm just creating this small little like pyramid shape almost with the rails, as if they've been taken up and gathered here in this little area. They are all fresh, so it looks like it could be they're building it, but I wanted to get the idea that this is old and unused, and they no longer use this. This is a park that's bought up old rail land, or this is an old coal mine area that the theme park has bought up to be used for the theme parks now. It's a theme that I plan to keep trying and using throughout, but there's other things that have happened that I may point to as well. I've kind of used this theme park to have these various ideas for like a town. That this is a few towns linked together by this theme park's railroad and everything. I've got some ideas. It's kind of interesting. I this isn't Dollywood or like anything like that. This isn't Disney, so I'm not exactly theming it the way they would. I'm trying to create my own theme and go with my own ideas for what I think a theme park can be. Which is kind of weird. It's an interesting idea of like having these little towns surrounding the park, and each section's a different type of town, and it kind of gives it a different, while all the similar, still very different vibes. Or so far from what I've been attempting, it has. Oh yes, we're down here creating one of our other stations. I kind of wanted to get away from being up there by myself, just working with that because it was me simply just going over and over again, over and again, just trying to get that right, and it's just frustrating. So to get away from the coal mine and to give myself something else to do, I actually went to the bottom to the middle station of the railroad. Uh, what I had deemed in my mind at the time as the sawmill. See, just getting it right there on the edge. It looks so good. It actually looks like a wooden floor. It covers up that yellow line too, which the yellow line would be more necessary if the guests actually waited along that wooden platform there for the train to arrive. But since they wait all the way at the station, it doesn't really make sense. It just feels like a leftover thing from other rides. So I have no issues covering it up because it doesn't really show off anything. It doesn't really add to the aesthetic here. Oh yeah, I found the water tower, by the way. I don't remember if I found it earlier or not, but I had seen this sometime in my glancing through items, and I really, really liked it. I wanted to use it for my miniature railway, or whatever you want to call it. And I thought, this would be a good place for it. And you know what? It came out so good. Look at it. Ah, so good. I also lowered the ground ladder for the stairs, just so the ladder doesn't exactly look too weird. Oh, and I realized very quickly, some of these on the edge, they need to be down 2. So I hit off that because nobody's going to be able to see the underside because of this right here. I went ahead and I built the station right here. I think I actually decided to do it lower than the... Ooh, that's right, I did do that. I forgot I did that for this one. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with the station yet. I had the idea that this was going to be the sawmill and stuff, but now that I'm looking back at it and looking at what's happened, I'm not entirely sure I like that idea. I kind of like it being this kind of sawmill-like station in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time, not sure I like that idea of having a sawmill there exactly. You know how it is. Ideas come, ideas go. And there we go, building the sides of the station. It has this weird look with that wood. Not sure I like it, but having different wood types definitely helps give the station a little bit more ideas. And by the way, the game also doesn't really give us windows. They have these weird kind of they're supposed to be for like shopkeeps because you can actually put make custom things for your shops, and these windows are actually for that. I I like them as windows, though. They kind of give the guests an outside look, or the player if they're down there in that first-person view, and I kind of like how it looks. Ah, and here's me putting on the finishing touches of the station building, the roof, which definitely gave it a unique look and kind of a unique interior. Ah ha ha, the train's coming in. Looks really cool. Alright. Now we're just going to build a water tower here and over at the other station so they all fit in, have the same kind of design to them at the water tower, giving them that quote-unquote real-life nature, which actually isn't that too far off. I mean, Walt Disney World and I believe maybe Disneyland actually do have water towers at each of their stations just in case they need to fill up the locomotives on water. Running live steam locomotives, that does tend to happen sometimes. Hope you enjoyed that little break. That was me finishing up one day and me starting the next. This is a 4-hour long session of me going in and, well, rechecking over a few things before finally getting into what it is we need to get into for today. And that is going to be building a ride. Yes, we're going to start with the first attraction for this park, a log flume. Perfect for a sawmill idea for the train station. So, simply got to figure out how we're going to do this. I like kind of building my rides throughout the landscape as if it is built into the landscape. I like it looking natural. So, we got to do some terraforming. We got to build ourselves a mountain. Yep. The main reason for that is log flumes are actually found in history as ways to get logs down hills to the sawmill at the bottom. So, we need a mountain for there to be trees on, so we have a reason to bring them down to our sawmill. Yeah. So, lots of ground needs to be moved and shifted, and it kind of gives a nice little layer to this park. Gives it a little bit of something else. Kind of adds and doesn't keep it so flat, if you will. It definitely helps give it a new feeling of verticality, I will say. Oh, this was me trying to figure out how to build the park, as well as what it would look like. Oh, that's right, I did do that. You know, railings aren't the always easiest thing to do. Now, one of the interesting things is because I'm so involved with trying to make my rides fit in naturally into the landscape, this one's a very tough one because I didn't want to stand out any. So, how do we get a lift hill into this park? Simple. You build it underground in a cave. So we started the ride a little slow, kind of giving some people a little ride through caverns a bit, and then you slowly build your way up all the way to the top of the hill. And that's where I ran the trouble. My path was in the way. All right, move that around, change that around. There we go. Then we have the hill, and we have well, we actually do have a path. I think I rebuilt it there. Did require me to do some interesting things where I removed the support so that it didn't run into the path. Thank goodness. It's no good walking down a path and suddenly having a support in your way. So, of course, we need to build up a little bit of a top here. We don't want to just go straight down, of course. That's terrible. What log flume does that? Well, other than the ones you find in some kind of cheesy theme parks. But most of them actually tend to have a little bit of a area before the drop to kind of build up the anticipation because you know it's coming. But when? And I wanted to do it perfect. I actually wanted it to have this kind of like waterfall-like feel to it. So I built this. This is only the first drop. Oop, oop, oop. There we go. One thing I do like about Planet Coaster is it actually has this kind of realism to it. You may have noticed that underneath the track for the log flume, there's actually a pipe. That pipe is supposed to be themed to carry water for the lifts and everything. And it's kind of realistic because real life log flumes do the same thing. Just in case. There we go. If you haven't ever, you should probably look up videos of them filling in water rides for the beginning of a day at a theme park. That is the most amazing thing to watch. It go from that empty, dry waterbed to filled with rushing water. It is so cool. And I found out, by the way, the splashdown areas, yeah, they don't actually remove the ground for the rest of the splashdown area. You have to do that manually. Bit of a headache, but you know, not bad. It's kind of cool. This is where my next idea came up. I decided we're going to build this underneath the train tracks. I was thinking about going over kind of and having it be kind of like a water trestle under the train tracks. But as we got down here, and after having that drop, which looks really cool by the way, would probably be a lovely thing to see from the train tracks, I decided to actually have it just go under the train tracks as like you guys will look up at the train as it goes over you. It actually works really well. I think I might have a clip later to show you of that. But first, let's finish off this track and get everyone back home to the sawmill. Oops, built too big. There we go. Now I gotta do some more terraforming. Gotta fix that up. You know, it's gotta make it look pretty, guys. Gotta make it look pretty. Still looks a little weird. Still looks really weird. Smoothing, smoothing, smoothing. Build up, build up, build up. Ah, that's right. You do need a lake up there. That lake's actually a really nice little thing now that I look at it when I actually play the game, because that lake kind of just adds a little something extra up there and makes it more believable. Because you're going to have a splashdown in that little area, it's probably going to build up a lake over time, if not already having one. And there they go. Splashdown test. Oh my god, that's so cool. Yes. Perfect. Alright, and we still have much more work to do. Gotta get these tunnels a little bit wider, gotta be able to fit things in them, you know, the rafts and everything. Don't want them to seem too weird, and gotta see if I can make them seem more realistic. It's just so much work you gotta do to try and make sure these are all correct and everything's going perfectly fine. Oh my. Even worse is trying to work in the dark. I mean, in these levels, it gets very dark inside tunnels, so it's very hard to see what's inside. Oh, and I gotta finish the mountain. I almost forgot about that. Without that, this mountain's just gonna look a little weird because guests will be able to see it from everywhere, and they'll. Oh, I don't want the guests on the ride to be able to see out. I don't think that's exactly what I like up here. And then we have this little area up here on top. Make it look nice and pretty. There we go. Now for that little area up there, I think we need to move it up a little bit personally, but maybe we'll do that in a few minutes. I'm not sure. Ah! By the way, because this is all based on my ideas of realism, I also had to have a lake by my sawmill, because why else would we have the logs coming down a mountain to go to the lake next to the sawmill? So I built up my own man-made lake, obviously, because it's on the side of a freaking hill, and placed some trees around it. The start of our test of putting in foliage. I decided finally on just doing some firs and pines, essentially. You know, evergreen trees. That way, so that it kind of fits with the evergreen theme of like the alpine level that we're in. At the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I'd put more deciduous in, and I might do that afterwards, just to kind of give it a bit more of a rolling hill vibes. Because even in the alpine forest, you still have a few deciduous trees that kind of break it up every once in a while, because that's what nature does. Oddly enough, nature is kind of random, but at the same time, it's very, very, very easy to predict. Look at it! It looks so cool and so perfect now. It looks like it's part of the level. It blends in with the rest of the level outside of the map. It's perfect. Ah, and because we have this little area up here, my idea was that I was going to make this into a camp with like people, like animatronics sawing logs and stuff, but I couldn't find anything like that. So I think I ended up just actually putting a tent up here. Where is it? Where is it? No, that's not it. Where was it? Nope, that's dead trees. Don't even have like logs being chopped or anything like that. Oh, there we go. Aha! That's what I was looking for. Nope, 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 not that, not that. That's not bad. Nope, nope, not what we want though. Let's raise that up. Oh, yeah. Make it level so that it's easy for the guests to see they're on the ride. I mean, of course we want to be able to see. Like, if they can't see, then why are they on the ride? Like, seriously, they're way up high. They're not down there low. Now that looks right. That's good. That's good. And this goes in, flows down, river. Ah, so good. This ride perks out perfectly fine at the end of the day. And you know what? I'm very excited because there's so much more to be done with this ride. Get it fully themed out. Especially with that station. My goodness. Speaking of, let's put the queue line has to be built up first. We want to make sure that we get the right queue, and sometimes it's a hard part. Ooh, that looks weird. No, it doesn't like making corners with this. Queues just don't like being made with corners. Even there, that just looks a little weird. There we go. Now we just have to connect it up to the train station. That way we can have place for people to get on. Make sure it's level. Oh, no, 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 no. There we go. There. Oh. The hardest part about making a walkway is sometimes this path creation tool is very tricky with how it does it. It makes lovely paths and they look amazing, but sometimes it's a little tricky when you want it to work right. Say for everybody who rides, though, I'm not gonna lie. The ride system is also amazing, but at the same time can be quite tricky when it wants to be. Alright, testing the ride. Getting it right. Seeing how often they're going down. It's splashing down already. Oh my goodness. Alright, just gotta make sure it's right. Ooh, heat maps. Okay. Heat maps are good because they give you a good idea of where the fear is, where they're most intense, how fast it goes. The heat maps give you a good idea of how the ride's doing. And they're really good when trying to check and see how a ride itself is doing, like this. Alright, the ride's open now. Time for guests to come on in. Now the hard part is, when are they going to come in? Who knows? Could be a few minutes, could be a few hours. I swear, these people take forever. Oh. See what I mean? It looks amazing! The train going over the bridge. Ah! Just imagine what it looks like from a guest riding underneath. It's probably perfect. Alright. And there they are. There's all the people here that ride my log flume and visit my theme park. But the log flume, all in line to get on the train. And they're just streaming through. There's still people in the bottom part of the corner of the screen coming in. Oh, and this is when I realized that I built an entire thing out of concrete. So I actually started replacing it with stucco. Stucco walls is what I used to replace it instead. Which is close, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. I think if I go and I do some research, there might be a way to make the stucco look like a colonial era look and kind of be more of a main street look. I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but I figure if you give me a little bit of time, I might be able to figure it out. Just gotta download some other buildings that are like it and kind of study them and figure out what works and what doesn't. And there's a full trainload of guests unloaded. And boy, do they go fast. Actually, one of the interesting things I noticed is a lot of people walking. I was like, why are there so many people walking through the park? I mean, there's a train line here. And I realized the reason for that is they were heading to the ride itself. Or, some of them were actually heading to another station. You'll see in a few seconds. Right now, I'm just building up the hills here because I thought that needed to be done because we have the coal mine. Let's make it a bit more hilly on this side. Make it match the other side of the park. There we go. My goodness. Look, there's a giant hill now that hides it. My. Tucked away in the little valley. Yep, and there they are. They're getting on the train there to literally come one more stop down. That's like, say, if I went to Disney World and went to get on the train at Main Street, realized I was too busy there, so I went to Adventureland to catch the train to get off at Frontierland. Why? I don't even think there's a station at Adventureland. I think you have to go to Frontierland no matter what. But still, the point remains. It's like going up one land to just get off the train at the next. Why would you do that to yourself? Aha. And here's for our second ride. I decided for my second ride I was going to actually go ahead and work with my mine theme. I was going to do a mine-themed coaster. But I couldn't find the right type of design for it. I was going to do just a runaway mine cart, but nothing I've seen fits. Instead, I just went with the classic mine train thing. Speaking of our Disney World type of anthology, I decided to go for like something Big Thunder Mountain. Now, you may notice I talk a lot about Disney World. That's because I, right now, am in Orlando, and it's right down the street. It's funny because also down the street is, car crash, is Universal Studios Orlando. I swear, watching these roller coaster cars go flying off the track is really funny. I don't know why. But Universal Studio has more like just roller coasters. They don't have like themed roller coasters really. Or their theme is music. Cool. No. Anyway. Yeah, Disney World has the most kind of themed rides that I like. So it's one of those things where when I had to build my park here, I kind of decided to build it based off of a theme park that I really enjoyed their theming with. A bit. Another part, I guess you could say, is the theming comes a bit from Dollywood and maybe a tiny bit from Cedar. No, not Cedar Point. Kennywood. Kennywood up in Pennsylvania. Outside of Pittsburgh, actually. At Mitten? West Mitten, I think is what it's called. Lovely place. I love Kennywood. It actually has some of my favorite wooden coasters in the world, but by far. The only place that has a wooden coaster that I would consider as good as Kennywood's would probably be Kings Island. The Kings Island has the Beast, and that is by far an amazing roller coaster. Absolutely love it. If you haven't yet, go try it. Go ride that roller coaster. It is spectacular. It's long, but it's a good wooden roller coaster. If you're someone that's more like a metal coaster, likes the things go upside down, circles, and everything, don't do it. You have another type of expectation, and this would not be fun for you. I'm someone who enjoys, as you can see here, a much more kind of up, down, left, right motion roller coaster. I enjoy the more old style. Um, I do enjoy some of those kind of loop-de-loop things as well. My One of my favorites on my list of favorite roller coasters is actually the Griffin from Busch Gardens, Europe. Lovely coaster, love it to death. It is a 90-degree drop, scary as heck. Would ride it again if I could. Instead, I am now in Florida, so what I have is uh, the family member, if you will, Shikra. Same design and all, just it doesn't feel as well. It doesn't feel the same. Griffin had this whole going into the valley thing that kind of really helped it feel bigger than it was. And it's kind of also something I apply to my own attractions. I kind of want them to feel bigger than they are at times, so I put them in valleys. I put them in sections of the world where they seem bigger than what they actually are. Oh, and this was the most headachy part of building this coaster here. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're here already. The bridge! I decided sometime in that I was going to build a train bridge across the main train line there. Have giant cliffs on the side and have the roller coaster train go across it into another tunnel on the other side. Seemed kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. But at the same time, it's also a bit of a headache, you know how things are. See? Stops. Swear. So you gotta delete it, figure out how big it needs to be. I swear. Roller coasters, they just don't work as fast as you would hope they would. Ooh, that's a terrible. Yeah, no. You were going to crash no matter what. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Smooth now. Seeing the train goes by in fast in this sped up motion is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's really fun to watch. And also, it's kind of entertaining to see how I built this because I built it, but I don't remember how I built it. I just remember building it. I was listening to a podcast at the time and just being enveloped in their conversation, trying to build it as if this was a train runaway in a mine and going in and out of sections, open and closed, up and down, left and right. It was a lot of fun trying to figure out what I was going to do next, but at the same time, it was kind of like a headache. Ah, because sometimes sections would work and sometimes sections wouldn't. Right now, we're actually building one of those sections that, at the moment, looks like it's going to do really lovely. It looks really good from here. Um, look at that! 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 Ah! I had it loop back in on itself. It's so cool. Also, I've realized something. The player character or player model or whatever it is, the camera in the game that the player has actually gives off light. So if you sit in one place too long inside the game, it actually will start glowing in the area around you so you can see. A good feature, but one that I've seen other YouTubers have issues with because they don't realize what it is, which is kind of funny at the same time as being kind of disappointing. It took me a while to figure it out, so I am not impervious to it, but at the same time, when I did find out, I started using it to my advantage. I'm not going to lie. I use it a lot inside tunnels when I'm working with roller coasters and stuff. Looking around my park, trying to figure out if there's other things I need to do, and then going back to the coaster. That's a tactic I tend to use whenever I'm feeling frustrated with something in Planet Coaster. Is if I'm feeling frustrated, I step away from it, I go do something else, and then I come back to it. It gives me a little bit of a reprieve to try and do things in my own way without getting lost in the kerfuffle, if you will. Uh, my goodness, building the tunnel there. Trying to figure out this whole situation with the roller coaster is so hard because the coaster is it's supposed to be a centerpiece, I guess, over in this area. This is this area's main ride, and this is going to be like the little country town. This is going to be the town that's kind of uh, it's surviving off the coal mine, if you will. So it's going to be kind of run down, kind of more like some of the times you would have seen in Red Dead Redemption, the more built up ones actually, but not fully built up. Not going to be fully built down either, so we're not going to go fully the direction of, say, I don't know. Trying to think. Disney World is the best I have for colonial themed theme parks. Cedar Point has it a bit at times, but it's more of a colonial mixed with Spanish influence in their park down here. Um, Universal is just straight up whatever era they want it to be themed. Like they have 1950s, 1960s type of Hollywood. They have uh, 2000s era, 1990s, 2000s era London. Like their theming is just okay. What do we have here, and what do we want to theme it as? More power to them. But what I'm planning to go for this park is more like early kind of America, kind of just early country look. Looks kind of like it's like a place forgotten by time almost. And because I chose the Alpine theme, it's not actually Alpine that I'm working with. It's more, I think I'm working mostly in the mindset of like, this is a theme park you would find in the Rocky Mountains. This is like something that you're finding in Colorado, which lovely state, love that place to death. I would love to move to Colorado someday and live there for a bit. By the way, yes, this is a on-ride video. This is me riding the ride. I did I was tempted to slow it down and let you actually see the on-ride video, but I realized it's actually you may notice it's a bit janky. That's because it's a bit lagging. I found out after the fact that my recording from here on out was having issues keeping up. So from here on out, the video is going to be a bit weird and maybe a bit laggy at times, a bit jumpy. So sorry about that to those who are watching. I still feel like there's a lot of stuff that happens from here on out that needs to be seen. So fingers crossed it will get the point across, even though the video itself that it's feeding out from isn't the best. Because what I did is I went back and I lighted the tunnels. Oh. Which, by the way, is something I've seen a guy spend nearly 4 hours on in a video on YouTube. He's a lovely man from the UK. Love his channel to death. You'll find out. I am a very weird and cultured guy. I love a lot of things across many areas. It's kind of weird. For YouTube, I have loves in both America and the UK. They fall in line with this thing called Rooster Teeth, and they fall in line with a weird British channel called Nerd Cubed. You know, I watch his stuff and I enjoy it to death, and he's kind of crazy. I think I found him originally because of some of his uh, train simulator slash rail simulator videos that he did, which was just pretty much him messing around, just absolutely kind of trashing the game at times, but adoring it all the same. And then I watched his Let's Play about Euro Truck Simulator, which sold me on Euro Truck Simulator, and not only sold me, I showed it to other people, and it sold them on the game. Beautiful title. You can go watch my video if you'd like to see me play it. I love that game to death. They just put out a new release, actually, so this is going to date this video. They just put out a new expansion for Euro Truck Simulator for France, which is something I actually mentioned in my video as wanting, and they did it, and I'm so happy. But at the same time, I'm so disappointed in myself because I didn't see that coming. Back to the video. Yes, I'm building my queue line here finally for my attraction, my roller coaster. I think I finally got to the point where the roller coaster does work. We'll see. Also, there's an ability in Planet Coaster where you can build priority pass lines, which is essentially fast pass. That's all it is. It's fast pass. Universal calls them express passes. It's a system of getting you to the front of the line faster than anything else. You buy them at actually the information kiosks, which kind of disappointed me because the information kiosks are nice, but that's all they sell. They don't sell maps or anything else like that, which is something I kind of wish the information kiosks did sell. Because while sure, yeah, the fast pass are kind of cool, I'd rather them sold things like maps and other park information so that guests would use those information kiosks more than, say, not. I don't know if that would help anything. I don't know how you would code it in. You might be able to code it in by claiming that the maps, when given to a pedestrian, increase their ability of knowledge of how to get around the park by a certain number or something. They don't get lost as easily, but even then, that's not something I've seen something happen. I've not seen guests get lost that often. In fact, I've seen them use public transportation and know how to get around the park quite well. Oh yeah, this is me realizing this curve that I put in there, that final whoop-de-whoop curve in the tunnels. Yeah, it was too sharp, so I had to build another one. This is me lighting up the new tunnels so that it's easier to see inside there. Ah, there we go. It's a new kind of bigger tunnel, but it still goes back through itself and still kind of threads the needle there, and it looks really cool. Yeah, this is like the weirdest bit right here. That's just like kind of like 1990s splash of like roller coaster flying through tunnels, and man, this is like a very bad advertisement for, I don't know, what's a theme park that would do something like this? Six Flags. How about that, Six Flags? Ah, this looks so cool. You know what? In one of my future videos, I should actually go back and I should ride the rides with a good recording, so you can all actually see the ride. Maybe actually after I finish doing the detailing and theming on all the rides, I should do that. That way, it's fully themed and pretty, and you don't have to ride again after I, finish it off. Oh, this is the hardest part of the video. Because of where my coaster is built, some of it actually is built underneath this. And because of that, it means it's a little bit light there. Oh. I don't remember why I did this. For some reason, I got an idea while building this little area here that I wanted water, that I wanted a little creek running beside the train track. Like, nothing I had ever thought up to this moment was about that creek. This was never a thought in my mind. Yet suddenly, building that area there and flattening it out and making that little area for the train, my mind went, you need a creek here. So I built a little stream. It was so difficult because I don't know why, but sometimes the game won't let you build water, even though it obviously could. And it's very picky about where it will build water. I wish I understood the code behind it a little bit more. I wish I understood like the things that it needs to have, because sometimes it looks like the water could be higher than it is. I also kind of wish the water had a little bit something underneath. Right now, the water has no underneath ability. It's just you see the reflection playing on top, and it's kind of frustrating a little bit. I kind of wish there was more to the water, but you know. I'm also noticing some issue with reflections in the water. Like, they don't last as far away. Like, if I'm far away looking in, I don't get a good reflection. But still, this game is so amazing. Oh my goodness. What am I doing? Am I raising? I think I'm raising ticket prices. No, I was lowering ticket prices. I was lowering the fast pass tickets. There we go. I think the roller coaster is finally good. I think I finally got it to the point where people will get on it and that it's good and themed and everything. Oh, also, I haven't yet figured it out. I don't know. But I have these little shops here on the outside. I'm not sure if guests can use them or not because they're outside the park technically. I hope so, but at the same time, I kind of don't. So it's one of those things of just gotta find out. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. If they don't, I might just move the entrance back a little bit so that it's actually on those 3 paths coming in, and then just have my main entrance be through that building. I don't know. We'll find out. That's one of the things I haven't got to test yet because I've been so busy with everything else in the park, just trying to get everything else set up and looking perfect. I'm building the station here for the roller coaster. This was a hard one because I was like, I'm not entirely sure of the theme here, so I'm not entirely sure what type of building I should build here. Is this going to be like a train station? Is this like a plant? Is this like a warehouse? What are we starting at? What is the story, and why are we starting there? So I started testing out some different things like bricks and rocks and stuff, and just seeing what worked and what didn't. And I think in the end I decided these didn't. I didn't like them. They look weird. They look really weird. There we go, brick. I think that's what I did in go with. I think I would just went with straight brick. I kind of wish they had an old brick. Like this modern looking brick, I like it at the same time as I don't. I kind of wish they had an old looking, mixed color looking brick instead of like the quote unquote old brick they have, which is kind of just like stones. I want like old, worn down, or maybe like tan looking brick blocks. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe they have things still to add. I'm not sure. I actually haven't been back to look and see what the team's working on for Planet Coaster. So I don't know where they're planning to take all their development now that the game's out. I don't know if it's just bug fixes or if there's actually going to be more content or what's going on. I kind of hope there's more content. I really do. While it came out with a giant collection, I kind of wish there's more. And, fingers crossed. I'd love it if they kept doing that, if they kept supporting it. Either with free or with paid content. If you have like a giant expansion pack, I have no issue with that. Trying to figure out the roof for this building, swear, is such a complex thing. For this building here, this building in general is just complex for no reason. I don't know why it was so hard to figure out. There we go. It looks better now. Not fully the way I like it, but it's better. And you know what? That's all it needed. It just needed to be better. So I hope from here on I can figure out how else to theme this building. Because... I think I'm going to go with a warehouse or a district, like our office, like a yard office where they're going to yell at people or something. I don't know. I can't. I honestly can't figure out what we're going to do with this yet. Well, that little edge there just gives it a little bit of something extra. It looks really nice. Alright, there we go. Roller coaster is quite popular. People are going in, people are getting off, people go in, people going off. It's quite a good ride. People love it. And benches. I don't know why I added benches. It's a really weird thing to add something out of the middle of nowhere. My. And there we go. Finishing up the front a little bit more. Adding some benches. Checking some things. And... yes! Building the wade pool. I'm very excited because this is going to be something I work on in the future. And I can't wait to show you what I've done with it. Spoiler. I'm really pleased with it. Alright, so I believe we're coming to the end of our video with this very weird kind of slideshowy like look of bad video and everything. But I want to thank you all for watching. I'm your host Wolfen Vic. This is Planet Coaster. If you haven't tried it or bought it yet, and you have any interest in roller coasters, simulator games, or in theme park management games, definitely think about it. Give it a try. Give it a look up. See more videos like this from other people or from me myself. And if you'd like more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Till next time, Wolfen Vic, signing out.